my scene kind of ties in a way with yours, because it just takes place a little, like just a smidge before your scene, but it actually isn't even a Britney Spears scene. It's well, I guess she's in the scene, but it's that little, not a whole monologue, but Zoe Saldana's character, Kit, she kind of like runs into Britney and Justin in the halls.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of goes on this whole like virginal speech.
Hello, can you just watch where you're going?
You ran into me, kid.
What, you're too perfect to bump into anybody?
What?
Perfect. Sweet, proper, nerdy, and virginal.
I'm not.
You're a virgin. I told y'all.
It shows you they were really pushing the image they wanted of Britney Spears.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's funny, and it's, this is trying to cover up, it was the whole rumor where the report she had breast implants, and that was never confirmed or denied, right?
Oh, I don't know.
There's one subject we didn't discuss.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breasts.
If you look at her in Baby One More Time, and then to like Sometimes, the music videos, how much she, I always remember how Saturday Night Live.
Oh, did they do a skit about her?
The opening monologue, she was like, I want to address some rumors about me.
It is so cool to be hosting Saturday Night Live because I happen to be a very big fan of this show. And now that I'm here, I think this is a perfect place for me to clear up some crazy, crazy rumors I keep hearing about myself. Like that I can't perform without lip syncing.
And she's like, the other one is that my boobs are fake. That is ridiculous. And then they show them like moving around, like rippling.
Oh yeah, there's one more. Oh yeah, the one about my boobs being fake. That is just ridiculous. I mean, come on. I'm 18 and I'm still growing, Okay. Anyway.
We keep referencing this podcast, and I think you guys should, if there's a way for you to find this particular episode of How Did This Get Made, where they talk about Crossroads, I think it would be like a good complimentary listen to this one.
Yes.
But they brought up the idea of like the virgin whore complex.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that'd be like an interesting conversation for us to have for like a minute or so.
Yeah.
Right now, because like, especially you as a Britney fan, do you feel like her persona kind of played into that idea?
Definitely. Absolutely, it did.
Because I was thinking, like, when they brought that up in the podcast, I was reflecting back, at least even in the previous two eras that Britney had done before she did this movie. Like, I think about, like, the Oops, I Did It Again music video, where she's, like, in the schoolgirl's outfit doing, like, the sexy choreo number. And then even the fact that while she was making this movie, she was still, like, pretty young. She was only, like, 19, 20 years old at the time. And then they gave her, like, a love interest that's, like, I think Anson Mount was, like, 28 at the time when they filmed this movie.
I don't mean to correct you, but actually, Baby One More Time was the schoolgirl.
Oh yes, Baby. Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
So many tidbits I could tell you about, Britney Spears from my childhood.
No, go ahead.
A different friend other than Kyle, we were over at his house, and that video came on, and his mom like came in the room, and the part where she's like, I'm not that innocent. Right. She's like, she's not innocent. Disney Channel back in the day,
they used to play the music videos.
They used to do that. Yeah. And they would always cut out that line, I'm not that innocent.
Really?
Yeah, like
wow.
It would just be Britney going like, yeah, like that. And I asked my sister, who's 3 years older than me, I'm like, why do they do that? And she's just bluntly like, because she sounds like a hoe. Oh. Just so bluntly.
Wow. 5-6-year-old me definitely did not know that was happening. But I remember those videos still being played on Disney Channel. Like, I remember they used to do Britney, NSYNC had music videos, Destiny's Child.
They did Genie in a Bottle, where they changed them to, instead of gotta rub me the right way, gotta treat me the right way, honey.
Wow.
And I remember even Christina Aguilera had to go on MTV and clear that up, where she was like, it doesn't mean sexual, it just means like treat me right.
Oh.
I remember that interview.
Wow. Dang, that's crazy. I think it's interesting when you look at the young girls of that era, like the Britneys and the Christinas and the Jessica Simpsons and the Mandy Moores, like just when you kind of think about the way that they were being marketed at the time.
Yeah.
They had to kind of toe the line between playing into like that innocent sweet girl, but also being like mature. We know what we're singing and talking about.
Right.
I was on YouTube. For some reason, I fell into like a random Mandy Moore interview tunnel. And I was watching this interview that Mandy Moore had done in 2000. And she was like 16 at the time. And it was a late night talk show appearance. I forget who the host was, but the host was I felt bad for her because she's 16, and I'm assuming at this point she had made like a lot of money, because in the interview she talks about how, yeah, I just got my driver's license and I bought a BMW, and then the audience is like, oh, blah. And then the host kind of like starts to belittle her a bit.
Big splurge.
Yeah.
So you didn't really, growing up, you didn't buy a lot of Barbie dolls. You just...
You know.
And then at the same time, he's like kind of being like gross, trying to be a bit suggestive. And at one point too, he like brings up the other girls.
You also, they tell me that you don't, unlike some of the other young ladies, you don't use sex too much in your music. You don't try to...
Well, I mean, I try and be myself when I'm 16 and I'm not...
Right.
I don't know. That's not really something that's apparent in my life.
Because some of the other girls have been criticized for doing, being too sexy too early, right?
But, I mean, they're 18, 19, and 20.
Yeah. Oh,
And
okay.
I mean, but
Okay.
honestly, it may not seem like a big difference, but I mean,
Right.
between 16 and 20...
That's a big difference,
Well,
believe
it's
me.
a lot of maturing and growing up, especially during those years,
Right.
so...
It's just interesting to go back and look at those interviews, because I was so young at the time. I remember this era, but I don't think I was old enough to understand kind of like the political social dynamics that were at play, watching these like young girls trying to navigate like that virgin whore dichotomy, I guess, if we call it that.
Right.
It's actually kind of sad when you look back on it, because it's like exploitative.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you can see what it's done to, I mean, Britney especially. I mean, there's a lot of issues with her, I believe.
Yeah.
In general, what do you think about breast implants? Just in general.
Well, I think if that's what you want to do and that would make you happy, then I see nothing wrong with it. But I haven't done that. But I think it's sad that people, think I've done that because that makes them want to go out. And, some of the fans that look up to me, they either think bad of me or they may want to go out and do that. But that's not my fault because the press started that. But
Exactly.
If you want to do that, that's fine. But I personally wouldn't do that. So.
I guess I have a question for you, would be, why do you think Britney did this movie?
I mean, obviously it was to, further her career. And she claimed she wanted to make a movie about female friendships and empowerment and thought it was a good career choice.
First meeting that Shonda and I had with Brit, she very specifically said, I don't want a movie that talks down to my peers. And I don't want a movie that tries to teach a lesson, but I also want a movie that means something.
There was, Mariah Carey had already begun filming Glitter, so I think she wanted to piggyback off of that.
Right.
I mean, it was only natural it was going to happen eventually. It's not like from Justin to Kelly Clarkson, when asked, this was her response: 2 words, contractually obligated. So why did she make that movie?
I didn't want to win because I knew that you had to make that movie.
Do you think this is like potentially true, that she came up with the concept and story before Shonda Rhimes like came into the picture?
I told them a concept of what I wanted for the movie to be about, And they took that idea and they ran with it.
Before I met Britney, I had a lot of preconceived notions about sort of what a Britney Spears movie would be. And then I met Britney and I spent some time with her, and she's so smart. And she's not sort of just what you see in her videos, which is great in itself, but I think she has a lot more depth and a lot more to show.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, especially considering, she supposedly was supposed to play Mimi.
Yeah, see, that's a thing that makes it make sense.
Yeah, and then they vetoed that pretty quickly. Like, nope, that's not on par with your image.
Right.
It's funny if they could have looked ahead, a few years in the future.
It's like, well, it's not too far from her actual future.
Right.
Would you consider this era to be peak Britney?
I think peak Britney might have been her comeback with, Circus.
Oh, really? That's what you would consider to be peak Britney.
I mean, she had Womanizer, and then right after that, 3 off of the Greatest Hits album a year later. Those 2 and Baby One More Time are only 3 #1 hits in the Billboard Hot 100. I mean, yeah, I would say in terms of like her as a brand, yeah, this is probably peak Britney. I mean, peak Britney was maybe Oops, I Did It Again to this point.
Crossroads to me isn't like a horrible movie. It's just like kind of a movie that's just there.
Yeah, it's just like an unremarkable movie.
It's a nice like little flashback to have, like to see like Britney at her height, like just young and with it, because nowadays I feel like when I look at Britney, I just like there's something about the look in her eyes where I just feel like she's not 100% there. Like, no offense to the Britney fans, but I just like it's like out of concern, and it just like makes me feel sad for Britney,
No, definitely. I mean, that's everything she's been through, and now with her dad being like the one to sign off on things, it's just a very unsettling dynamic, I feel like.
Britney Spears, everyone. Her fans have launched this Free Britney campaign, and they believe, the fans do, that she's being held in a mental facility against her will. We've spoken about this on Hot Topic. Britney responded by posting this video. Take a look.
Hi guys, just checking in with all of you who are concerned about me. All is well. My family has been going through a lot of stress and anxiety lately, so I just needed time to deal. But don't worry, I'll be back very soon.
It's so sad how in these families, how for child stars, and this is why so many of them grow up messed up, is because you never had a proper childhood. You were used by your parent. I mean, she was an adult, but Whitney Houston, you saw what happened there. Right. How you got used because everybody's making money off of you.
Yeah,
because if you seek help, you can't make money, and
it's a really terrible, sad situation to see happen repeatedly with so many different people.
And then you look at Mandy Moore and Hilary Duff, who kind of didn't have those experiences.
Yeah, because I feel like when they were like young, the success wasn't as extreme as some of these other people.
Right.
But in the long run, they actually benefited from that because they were able to like adjust to society in like a quote unquote normal way.
Right.